Hello, everyone. So, my name is Barron, or I was born Barron. Let's say that. That's what my mama named me when I came into the world, you know. My friends and family call me Fahim, right? So, I guess this is testimonial, right? So let me, okay, I don't know.
What's your journey so far?
Right, yeah, I'm gonna give it. I grew up in Richmond. Let's say that, right here in the Bay Area, right? So, man, that was a journey in itself. But I don't know. I guess I want to talk to you about how this process happened. For me and my wife. You know what? Let me before I just go any further, right? Yeah, come on up here, right? You know what I mean? Because I'm not doing this by myself, right? That's just the truth of the matter, right? This is Mrs. Cleopatra Bernstein, right? My wife, right? So, yeah, I started this process. I'm a disabled vet, right? So, when the thought of owning a home, right, first came up, right? That was the vehicle in which we were going to take, right? We were going to use that VA home loan, right? But I don't know. After doing some little research, right? The reality of the matter, because that's zero down too, right? You know what I mean, right? It's still, it can't compete with NACA. That's just the reality of the matter. With regard to the interest rate, right? I didn't know the first thing about owning a home, right? My mom, as I was coming up as a young man, right, was trying to give me some kind of game, right? She said, you need to just stop doing what you're doing and sit your ass down and listen to what I'm trying to give you, right? Right? But I was one of them young guns out there, right? Back then, right? Yeah. Just keep it 100, right? And then out there peeing all the shit, right? Excuse my French, but yeah, right? So it took a few bumps and bruises, right, for me to one day, finally wake up. You've seen that movie, the Spike Lee movie, he's hollering, wake up, right? Yeah, finally, right, one day, by the grace of God, yeah, I believe in God, too, in case you don't know. You know what I'm saying, right? I woke up. I got tired of living the way that I was living, right? I'm just sharing with you a little bit about me and what the story is for me, right? You know what I mean? Cause she been there, right, by my side, through all of that, madness, right? You know what I mean? You know how you ride down the street, right? And you see them tents out there, right? And you see them people out there, right? With all that trash and garbage and shit out there, right? I was one of them, believe it or not. You understand what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. So, yes, he is. I heard somebody say God is good. Did you hear that? Hey, I'm in here to preach, but I just want to tell you, right, what he did for me. Right, so, like I said, I tried the VA, that didn't work, right, so, I'm what they call obsessive compulsive, right? That means, once I grab a hold of something, right, it's hard for me to let it go. I mean, I'm gonna stay on it, right,
It can't disappear.
Right, so, for a long time, right, I used to grab a hold of things that were not good for me and hold on to them, you know what I mean, right, right, so, but today, right, that's not the case, when, at least been granted enough discernment, right, to know when something is not good for me, right, so I have a sister, right, she lives in Georgia, right, she woke up a long time ago, right? So, like 20 years ago, right, she entered into NACA. She developed a relationship with NACA, right? Left here with my nephew, right? Because they was about to lock him up. You know, that's another story, right? You know what I mean? But nevertheless, right? She got with NACA way back then in Georgia. You know, so I went to talking to, you know, hey, you know, I'm trying to do this house thing, right? And she said, well, you know, when I first came out here to Georgia, I went through NACA. You know, so you should try that. You know what I mean, right? So I did, and I came, and we were sitting in these seats right here where you guys are, right?
Right over there.
Right back there in the corner where that little cute baby is back there, right? You know what I mean, right? So, I heard Katya up here, right? She gave her spiel, right? And I watched a couple of videos, right? You know, just like y'all doing today, right? And I got a little more information about NACA. And I found out, you know, about some of the roots of NACA, right? And what it stood for and how it came about, right? So it became a little something more, right? Now, not only was it, you know, a vehicle for me to get a home, but it was something that was good and that I could stand behind. You know what I'm saying? I could say, hey, you know what I mean? Not only is it a vehicle for you to get a house, but they also give back and help. You understand what I'm saying? Individuals like you and me, right? You understand what I'm saying? In the community, make sure you don't get got. You understand what I'm saying? When you go to get in that loan, you understand what I'm saying, right? Make sure your loan is fixed and structured in a way, right, that you can be able to afford it. Like the brother was saying, I still got the same job I had, right? You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, so that was, you know, made it even more so, right? Because there's nothing else or no other game in town that I know of, right, that holds your hand and walk you through the process, right? And make sure, right, you know what I mean? Well, no, that ain't right. You don't need to, you can't enter into that. You know what I mean? You know, right, they literally, right, you know what I mean, hold your hand. You know what I'm saying? Now, I need you to testify to this, right? And I don't, you know, like I said, there ain't no script for me, right? I'm up here telling you what's basically on my heart, right? Do we got the best real estate agents you ever heard?
Yes, we do.
You know what I mean? Not trying to, you know, right? You know what I mean? But my real estate agent, you know what I mean? And she's a NACA member, right? You know what I mean, right? My real estate agent, right? You know what I'm saying, right? Well, answer my phone if I call at midnight. You know what I'm saying, right? That I say I got a question. I text her. I put a little question mark in there, right? And she gonna respond. You know what I'm saying, right? So, you know, priceless. You know, so yeah, and like I said, I've had some other dealings. I've been through some other processes with Chase and, you know, some different things, right? You know, concerning this, because I've been trying to do this for a minute, right? And I just haven't received, right? You know what I mean? In other places, in other avenues, the attention, the human element, let's say that, right? That I get, you know, from NACA. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know, baby. You know.
Y'all guys know that it's not easy to buy a house. It's tedious. And NACA don't make it no different. It's tedious going to NACA.
Right, you know.
But I promise you, if you hang in there, you'll get a house. And it'll be worth every tear you cry, every time you bitch, everything. You know. It'll be worth it. Because I'm going to tell you, I stomped my feet and I had fits and I said I wasn't going to do it. All that kind of stuff. My baby said, baby, they willing to give us $300,000. And you don't want to write 4 lines of so-and-so on the paper? And when he said it like that, I felt so stupid. And so when he looked up, I was writing. But it's, you know, when you've been out there and you don't use this muscle up here, then when you start back to using it, it don't want to work. It want to tell you, get over there and sit down. And you want to go over there and sit down. So we did a lot of back and forth, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you, I don't think there's ever been a person that was, you talk about pit bull, you know how they lock on something? Baby, when he got his teeth in this, it was no letting it go. He said, he said when he walked out of the seminar, I want me a house and I'm gonna have one. And I promise you, within the next 90 days, we'll have some kids.
You know, right. You know. So, real quick, right? You know, like I said, you know, because of what my financial situation is, right? You know, when we went out, you know, looking, right, you know, and I first like to, you know, so that house, right, okay, that's in the right price, right? We listed at $300,000, right? You know what I'm saying? But for me, right, that's what I'm saying, for us, right, I was finding out I couldn't compete because it might be, you know, I was maxed out at $300,000, right? You know what I mean? So, you know, these people were coming in at $325 and $350 and I couldn't compete, right? So I had to take a little step back and say, okay, you know, and pray on it, you know what I mean, right? You know, and so what I ended up doing was finding me a home that needed a little bit of work, you know, right, you know, because, you know, NACA has a format and a program for that, right, you know what I mean? So I still came in my cap, right, but, you know what I mean, I found me one for like $263, you know what I mean, like to be exact, right, and it has some foundational issues, so the seller, right, you know, we ended up finally getting it worked out, right, so he gave us the seller credit for $25,000, right, and I'm gonna come up with the other $22. That's a part of my loan, right? You know what I mean? So, and I'm gonna come out with that home, right? That they was bidding them $340,000 and this and that, right? That I got for $263. You know what I mean, right? You know, once again, you know, for me, like I said, I don't know about you, you know, and whatever works for you is, you know, with regard to, you know, but for me, right, it's only by the grace of God. And I gotta say that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know, right, that's just what works for me, right? So, yeah, I just, you know, what can I say? You know, it was a process, right? And just like she said, right, there's those, you know, they were asking me to do things, right, that in my mind, right, you know, like I said, in my mind, right, that shit don't make no sense. Maybe why they asking us to do that? You know what I mean, right? You know, right, you know.
But he was steadily doing it.
You know, yeah, right. You know, what you say, you want what? So if you get in my car and you go, okay, I'm going to get that. You want to, what you say, you want I'm drawing a blank, right? But anyway, right, they were asking for a lot of information, right? Like I said, you know, like I said, you think you got some business, right? Well, I'm gonna let you know now, you ain't gonna have none. You ain't got no business, right? You know, see it, right? You know, if you think you got a penny lying up under a rock somewhere, right, they gonna want to know about it, you know? You know what I mean? So, you know, be prepared to be forthcoming, right? You know, like I said, you know, like that credit card you think you got hid, right?
You better keep it in.
Right, you know what I mean? It ain't no hiding it, because as soon as they run your credit, that one's gonna pop up, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, the best thing you can do, right, you know, for yourself and to keep the process keep the process going is be as transparent as possible when it comes to your finances.
If you ain't a transparent person, you better become one.
Right, you know, because, you know, like I said, they're going to run it to this, you know, like I said, if it's got something to do with an account, it's going to pop up, okay? You know what I mean? So, yeah, just, you know, right, you keep it 100, right? You know,
if you got $1 in Tokyo, they going to know about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and they're going to want to know about it. Well, we need a statement from this, and we need a statement from that. We need you to, you know, the tax transcript, we need that. You know what I'm saying, right? You know, well, you got the same information on my, you know, my W-2. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So I'm just saying. So when they say be prepared, right? Oh, this is one of those things. Brother was just saying, right? This is one of those things, right? Yeah. It is going to be one of those things, right? But like I said, you know, it's a process, but it's at the end of the day, it's worth it. You know,
The
at the end of
best,
the,
the
you know,
best way to get
right.
through it
You
is keep reminding yourself of the money that they gonna give you.
Right.
That's the best way to, you know what I'm saying? Because little things will jump
Right.
up, and it's gonna make you wanna just say, ah! You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just keep telling yourself, well, damn, is this
Yeah.
worth
All right.
$300,000 they're giving me over here? And it's not.
Right. So, and I guess we're gonna close with this. I just want to say this one thing, right? And this was very instrumental in my decision making, right? And it's this term, that term, generational wealth, right? I mean, meaning it's not about me, it's about my baby, right? It's a no-brainer, right? Stop throwing away your money. You know, Jeff, you good with that? That's good enough for me. One day at a time. Step on down there. Thank you. You know? Right.
All right. I'm crying.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
This is why I do it. Ready?
Right. All right. Right. All right. Good. Let's go, man. You know? All good. You do 100, right? You know, yes.
I love my members. I love them. All right, so that's that. Any questions? In my mind.